Greetings, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. Today I thought I'd talk about the proposal by New Zealand government to bring in a tobacco ban. They are certainly going about it in an interesting way. So their proposal is that from the year 2025 they raise the legal age of tobacco purchasing. So if it's 18, then they raise it to 19. 2026, they raise it to the age of 20. Each year it goes up by another year, which means that a 14-year-old of today will in future never ever be able to purchase any smokable tobacco product. Well, it's an interesting direction they're going in. It's all to combat this, the cigarette. And I kind of agree with them. It should, on paper, theoretically, maybe practically, be an effective means of stopping young children from getting addicted to these. And I think in the beginning it probably won't have a massive impact, as if you are just below the legal age, you simply get your older sibling to purchase on your behalf. But they're also talking about limiting the amount of shops that will be able to sell tobacco products. So it will be increasingly difficult to find the tobacco products you're looking for as a smoker. Now, what bugs me the most about these things, I'm all for getting rid of these, because cigarettes are an absolute abomination. They are simply designed to get you hooked on nicotine. That's their only thing. This is designed to get you hooked to nicotine, and this is not. And again, there is an obvious failure to distinguish between different tobacco products. One is bad for you, and one is not really. So these are two very different products. I'm all for getting rid of cigarettes. They are an abomination that have no place in this world as far as I'm concerned, and their terrible reputation has done an enormous amount of damage to the cigar industry, which I would consider a very noble and historically rich industry. And by bringing in this legislation and getting rid of cigarette smoking, they will be destroying any chance of anyone in New Zealand ever picking up this fantastic hobby. So children aged 14 and downwards in New Zealand will never ever know what it is like to be a part of cigar culture, ever, which I think is a shame. And pipe smoking also falls into the hobby category. It's about owning a pipe, possibly a collection of pipes. There's the responsibility of taking care of the pipes and maintaining them and cleaning them after use and so on. So I see their point in eradicating cigarettes, but at the same time they're killing off any possibility of someone enjoying something that I think is wholesome and perfectly healthy. And New Zealand has some of the most amazing scenery in the world, but thanks to that new legislation, if it goes through, which it probably will, you will not be able to sit and puff on a cigar whilst enjoying amazing scenery, which I think is a shame. I don't think there are that many cigar smokers in New Zealand. There will be a few here and there, but I don't think it's a significant part of their culture at all. So I guess to some degree it's just, ignorance is bliss. They'll never know what they never had. And I only hope that were I to visit New Zealand again, that I would be allowed to at least bring a personal stash of cigars with me to enjoy whilst I'm there. You're welcome to put your comments down below. What do you think about the new legislation, and will it work the way they hope it will? Or will there be a black market that will flourish where anyone with the right connections can just get hold of their smokes under the table somewhere anyhow. Mind you, New Zealand has a smallish population, and if most of them don't smoke anyway, then there probably won't be need for a black market, to be honest. I'm just wondering if governments in Australia and here in South Africa will maybe follow suit. They'll maybe keep an eye on the situation there. You know, watch it as a case study and maybe start implementing the same kind of rules over here. Our population is a lot larger, and there is a large portion of our population living in poverty, so smoking is an everyday part of life. And I reckon, looking back at the cigarette ban we had during COVID lockdown, the black market really flourished, and if they just bring in the same kind of legislation here, the black market will flourish again. There will be a very good black market for cigarettes. We've got borders with some neighboring countries like Zambia and Zimbabwe and Botswana, and you will have cigarette traffickers crossing the border regularly. So I don't think it will work that well here, but it will of course hurt this. It will definitely hurt this lovely hobby that has such a lot of history and culture and kind of family oriented industry behind it historically, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? You know what I'm trying to say. I mean, the fact that these are handmade and that the wrappers are color graded by eye and they are rolled expertly by hand by someone with a lot of knowledge and skill. It's just a shame, you know, compared to this piece of crap that was machine made in the millions with the sole purpose of topping up your nicotine levels. Anyway, so what are your thoughts? As a cigar smoker, do you think we should be worried about what New Zealand is planning for its own citizens, but will it spill out into other parts of the world? Will other people take note and say, wow, look what they're doing, what a brilliant idea? My only hope is that should it move to places where there is a significant cigar culture, I would hope that they could properly distinguish between the different products and apply a bit of common sense, that the one is harmful to you and the one simply is not. So New Zealand is hoping for a tobacco-free generation. Where does it end though? They take your right away to choose. What will they decide is next? Will they limit alcohol? Will they ban bacon? I would consider cigar smoking as something akin to enjoying a glass of red wine with a delicious steak. It's something that I do occasionally. The cigar and the red wine with the steak. And drinking red wine does not automatically turn you into an alcoholic, last time I checked. The same with smoking cigars does not get you hooked on nicotine. The delivery system is just very, very different. I've smoked 100 of these, easily. I don't need nicotine in my life. It's nice to have a bit of nicotine in your blood, but I don't need it. I don't go through a single day craving a nicotine hit. Not at all. Cigar smoking is all about the flavor. Gosh, what an amazing flavor. This one particularly, very nice. I've never heard anyone ever say, what a delicious aroma or taste that emanates from this piece of crap. So New Zealand is hoping for a tobacco-free generation. Alright, so yes, they remove cigarettes from the equation, and maybe the stats will show that there are fewer deaths as a result. I don't know. Or will those stats remain the same? In which case the ban was then a complete waste of time. Or will the people realize after a while that having your personal choices just taken away because somebody else decides for you that something is either good or bad for you? I don't know, will there be some kind of resistance or backlash, or will people just gladly accept it and move on? And never ever ever have the privilege of enjoying something as wholesome and satisfying as smoking a cigar or a pipe. To me it just seems absurd that a new generation may not celebrate anything with a cigar. Becoming 21, you can't smoke a cigar. Celebrating the birth of your child, you may not smoke a cigar. I mean, these things were made to celebrate those moments in life. I don't know, I see their point. Getting rid of cigarettes, getting rid of something that is obviously designed to get you hooked on nicotine. But at the same time, they will be taking this away from everyone there. You'll never experience this under those laws. And maybe you won't care. But I find it a little bit disturbing that your right to choose is just taken away from you just because. What do you think? If you're a cigar smoker, do you think we should be worried? Will they start implementing these legislations elsewhere in the world? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Well, thank you for stopping by. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And feel free to drop a comment down below. Say what you think. And I'll catch up with you guys in the next video. And there goes my ash.